And welcome to Love Always Self. I'm Shyra.
Hi, y'all. I'm Karista, and thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Love Always Self.
We just decided to hit record. This is what we're doing.
We're gonna see how this goes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you'll never see this.
It's undecided at the moment. We had a meeting earlier with our coach, and then after that, we were just kind of sitting here. We're like, let's plan out some topics and things of that nature. And then she asked, maybe we're going to channel today. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of feeling that. Let me get out of my mode of setting up all the gear and all that stuff. And so I just kind of sat here in a meditation and I went to call in my guides and I got a guide that's not mine, it's hers. And so I was just kind of sitting here giving her a reading. So I'm gonna see what he brought up. So this guide's name, do you mind sharing?
Yeah.
Okay. The guide's name is Gem, and
Like a crystal gem,
yeah, like a crystal
not
gem.
like going to the gym to get buff.
Right. Or not like a JIM.
Like Jim Beam.
Gym, like a gym.
Snap into a Slim Jim. Do we get the sponsors for that? Do we?
Where y'all at? So I figured that I'd ask Jim, like, what do you want to talk about today? And he just keeps saying activating the light body. And what's interesting is that this particular guide, the imagery that he's showing, when I asked him, can you show me what you look like? Because I heard him first. And then then he was like giving me like these scenarios for Carrie that apparently turns out was somewhat of a conversation that you were having that I didn't know about. Anyway, activating the light body. So I'd like to ask Jim what that means.
Yeah.
Because I kind of stopped from there and hit record. So, and if you see me holding this, it's a crystal and it's just something that you might see me fidget with. It's just a way for me to move energy through and kind of helps with the grounding.
I think it also gives your
like
physical body something to do, so
Right.
the rest of you can be calm.
Right. It's kind of like my own personalized amplifier. It was a crystal that was gifted to me when I was going through my healing of my hysterectomy, and
It's a yellow citrine.
a yellow citrine, yeah. So I'll try to show it. There you go. If you can see that, it's really cool. I like it. So if you see me tossing it around in my hand, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of just
Personal fidget stick.
Yeah, it's my. We're not sure if that's going to be a blooper or not. Maybe
going in there.
Personal. Okay, so let me just go back in. So this guide came through very recently. Passed through from somebody Carrie has interacted with while on vacation. And the way this guide is coming through is that he's saying it's a way to lift from the feeling of having the weight of the world on your shoulders. He's coming through as and he, she, whatever. But
He did
he
say
he said he, right. For simplistic sake is how he put it. And I think he's got more of a masculine energy, but a very light, playful masculine energy. So he's coming through as a cartoon of a sunflower. So if you ever watch his animations where the flowers are like little people, um, that's how he's coming through to me. And so a lot of the imagery he's giving me is in a cartoon version. He's only presenting me with playful scenarios, like either things to come, things that have already happened, however we want to perceive that, and just things to be on the lookout for. But again, all of it is very playful. And I'm asking him, what do you mean by activating the light body? So let's see here. So just having joy in your life, simulating joy in your life. For those of you that, I'm going to repeat this word for word. For those of you that have not been participating in scenarios that give you more pleasure and more freedom within and more joyful memories and moments, that is what guides like myself are here to do, is to assist you in creating the scenarios that give you these types of moments. And I just got a full screen of little heart emojis like floating up, creating an atmosphere of love and safety, tranquility, hopes and dreams coming to life.
I get that this is still a choice that has to be made on my part, though, to clarify, right? Like these situations, events, opportunities will present themselves, but it's still up to me to choose.
He said to embark on them,
Mm.
to embark on them.
So that's still a conscious awareness of which step to take next.
Okay, so he showed me like he said, "Your guides are becoming little busy bees," is how he put it.
Like, is that just my brain?
No, like they're creating a scenario. So they're literally like working all these different scenarios to happen. So you end up in an environment that allows you to be in a playful atmosphere. I'm sorry for the dog.
No apology
If
needed.
you hear his collar when he shakes. So yeah, so he's creating a him and the rest of your guides are creating playful environment. Oh, he said it's he zoomed out of all the little busy bees that are just doing this for you and your experience, Carrie, but he zoomed out and just showed me like hives of them across the globe, like almost like he pulled me all the way out into space to see it on a planetary level. So bringing about this more light body activation. And the light body activation can come about when you are in a more playful state, is how he's putting it.
Mm. Well, that makes sense. And we've talked about that in the past about raising our vibration so that we can connect easier with guides.
Mhm.
So, our light body is activated when we are in these higher vibratory states, what we would, as humans, call more positive experiences.
Right. He's saying even with memories. So if you have like a memory of a time when you were doing something fun, like inducing that memory alone will also bring about the quote unquote activation of your light body.
So, what's coming to mind is a certain time frame when I was doing therapy. I was instructed to visualize my internal resources, and those represented different aspects of like safety nets for me. And those resources, I visualize them in a cartoon way.
That makes sense.
And in this process of thought is still doing inner child work because that's part of what these resources are utilized for, are tools for that inner child work. And as I've worked to provide love and care to my inner child, my current self feels more lighter. And is that another healing form that will or could lead to light body activation?
Yes. And he got a little like, hey, are you gonna repeat what I'm saying?
Oh, my
with
bad.
with me. Um, let me just tell you what I said. So as you were saying that, it's like yes, doing the work. I'm just telling you what he's saying.
Mhm.
Okay, yes, doing the work is important. Doing the transformation, excuse me, he's clarifying. Doing the transformation is important. Transforming the energy that you have held on to from any type of works that uh, scenarios that you've been in where there has been trauma, things that you've held on to, that you are needing to feel through and process. This, he's using quotes, little cartoon fingers. Um, sorry, it's just making me laugh. Um, little cartoon fingers like this, and that you need to process. or shadow work through that allow you to feel lighter, all of that is positive. But when he wanted me to repeat what he was saying and I didn't feel like it at that moment, he said that sometimes it's also good to stop the shadow work. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
good to just relax from that for a bit and give your soul and your body and your mentality a break and just enjoy the physical world that you're in, enjoy the physical surroundings that you have. He's giving me a cartoon version of the planet and the planet smiling with the big teeth. And this guide is hilarious. um and he's saying enjoy the planet, enjoy all the circumstances, seeing the lighter aspects of each of the things coming into your surroundings. And then I asked him about spiritual bypassing. He said, I can understand your perspective from that, that can seem like spiritual bypassing.
What is spiritual bypassing?
So I mean, that's just a term I've heard it being called in the definition that I understand it as is that where you're like, forget all your problems, you don't have any, just be happy and love and
Mm.
joy. And that's all you should focus on. And to me, I think that sometimes when you do that, you're trying to just drudge into the background all the issues that you've ever experienced and not face those.
So
Um,
it's about finding that balance, like,
right.
what is it? All work, no play
Hmm.
kind of thing. Um, so the work is important, but so is the play.
Right.
So it's I'm grateful for this reminder because I so frequently get stuck in the mind, in the mental, in the thinking, and that does lead me to a lot of time spent on the work. And how can I, you know, be more spiritual or be connected greater? And part of that is just being in this human experience.
Right. So they're giving me, and when I say they, I mean more than just one has come in now. It's almost like him and then some of my people. It's interesting because they're giving me this like, the symbol for like audio.
Mhm,
So,
like the speaker.
yeah, it's like the symbol for audio, and then it's almost like they're showing me this thing where it starts off like as a line and then it increases and so like when you're speaking, say like you're editing a video or something and you're trying to follow the audio and you're looking for that place where there's no audio to clip that out.
Mhm.
That's like the symbolism that they're showing me right now. And they're talking about cutting out the high peaks of noise for a while. And that's how I'm understanding this and that's how it's translating for me. Ooh, it just got really bright. um
Like loud noises or like
Cutting out the
high
noise, I think, is, like, in a hypothetical way, like,
all the extra riffraff of the monkey mind.
yeah, like, all the external forces that are coming in to, like, drown you into, like,
So not just
sadness.
internal, but also the external,
Mhm.
like turning off the TV
Right.
or the news.
Yeah. They kinda keep pointing towards this portal, and I think they're gonna try to explain to me, and I'm gonna try to, like I'm gonna try to, like, process this while they're explaining it to me. Because I'm just getting imagery right now. So like the voice part has kind of calmed down a bit. Kind of like Jim came through, said what he needed to say, and he's like, okay, back to play. So I would just for you, Carrie, like as in a personal message to you, like I would expect to see more scenarios present itself or opportunities for you to go and have playful moments. Um, so
Accepted
there
with
you
gratitude.
go. um, and I'm getting this portal. It kind of looks like an opening in the middle of the sky. Um, and then it kind of like funnels inward,
Mhm.
like the light is funneling into it. Um, they're talking about doing like portal activations. This is just so bizarre. Give me a second. So I asked Brady, who's one of my main guides, I asked him, "Can you step in?" And he goes, "Let me help you out here, girl, because you're struggling." He's gosh, he's a character. Um, Never in a bad way, of course. He talks like me. So Brady is saying that they're asking if I want to go into the portal, which would bring my consciousness there and their consciousness here for me to fully channel. And no, I don't want to do that right now. So I was like, oh, okay. No, I'm good. So that's why they keep bringing the portal up. And I was
Gotcha.
like, what's that for? Okay, that makes sense. What do you have to say today, Brady? He goes, take that dude's advice. Like that, like, take that dude's advice. Oh my
So,
gosh. My guys are hilarious.
all right. So, creating or recognizing more opportunities to be like light and bountiful and joyful and creating laughter.
Yeah. So whenever I come out of doing like a reading for someone or channeling, colors are very interesting. Everything I think what I'm looking at really are auras. So I'm seeing energy fields around it, everything around me.
Well, I mean, our senses are taking them in and processing it through our brain, and our brain is using that data to
Mhm.
tell us what we're seeing.
Mhm.
And
It's all colors.
so maybe because you're oscillating at a higher vibration,
Yeah.
maybe that's why the brain is a little confused.
Which is why I close my eyes, by the way, because your sight can take in so much at the same time. And so for me, it's easier to close my eyes when I do that because then the only thing that I'm seeing, and sometimes I see actual images with my eyes closed, and sometimes they're more mental. Like we described, if you want to listen to that, definitely check out the previous episode where we explain that. But
Is that the mental body?
the spiritual body,
The spiritual body.
yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's a
Yeah.
thanks. Good call, I should probably mention which episode that is. And, so it's interesting because, like, when I looked at you just now after opening my eyes, you were a neon pink.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Like, all like, fully surrounding you, which is cool because that's not the color I normally see you in. I normally see you in, like, a blue, or, like, this, like, white outline, like a bluish white silvery outline. Welcome, Webster, to
Oh,
our
he's already made his cameo
did
once.
he? I wish y'all could see this because it's absolutely hilarious the way he's sitting underneath the table.
Okay.
We are dog moms. Um,
But I think that's interesting because it this leads me to some thought processes that I was having earlier in the day
yeah.
about how we can't trust our senses 100%. Like,
Ah,
are our senses telling the truth? I mean, not that they are lying,
yeah.
but is our brain processing things out to where it's not like the full truth?
Hmm. Um,
Because I mean, like sometimes you can get like whiffs of scents, and it is not like you went downstairs yesterday and said, "Oh, babe, it smells so good." And he's like, "I'm doing the dishes."
it smelled like
Or
like he was
like,
cooking something. Yeah.
so another example is like popcorn, burnt popcorn. That is a potential like red flag of a stroke.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good.
So I mean,
Yeah.
like
That's
even
not
if there's
good.
no burnt popcorn around, like, can we trust our senses 100% to tell us like the full truth?
Which is very interesting because, and I'm curious if anyone else has ever had this experience, so please feel free to comment below, but, like, I've had moments where I'm, like, all of a sudden, and even though I have a dog, he was completely dry and hadn't been outside yet, and I was like, "I'm smelling a wet dog." And I remember saying that. Was I talking to you? I think I was talking to you, and you were like, "Yeah, my dog's wet." I don't remember if it
I
was
don't
you or not.
remember.
Um, but yeah, anyway, and so sometimes even our psychic abilities can come with different senses, like the sense of smell.
Right.
Um,
And also, like, hearing.
Hearing, yeah.
So hearing, I've heard plenty of times different sounds and nobody's around. Or I'll hear my name called and nobody's around.
Mm.
And I know you've experienced very similar things,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
probably on a grander scale, to be completely honest.
I've heard somebody walk into the house and say hello multiple times, and there was nobody there.
Oh, I just remembered one
Yeah.
night when you woke up
Mhm.
in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And didn't Steven wake up too? Heard
Yeah.
it?
We thought somebody was in the house. So I was like, "You heard that, right? You heard somebody say hello, hello."
But what's to say, like, there's not something else going on that, again,
Right.
we can't confirm with our senses.
I mean, that's true. But I mean, and then you think about like using discernment on like what it is that your senses are picking up because people with loud ringing, right?
Mhm,
They get ringing in their ear. Where in some situations, yeah, it could be something on, the spiritual front or like a entity of some sort. That's not a bad word, by the way.
mhm.
Um, communicating with you, you get high pitched ringing in your ears, but it could also be a form of
Tinnitus.
tinnitus, right? So which one is it? Seek your Go to a doctor. How about that? Go to a doctor, have it checked out, make sure you're good. but but yeah, so that's interesting. That's a crazy concept.
So, I mean, that just leads me to say, like, our senses, we rely on them so much, like the "I won't see it or I won't believe it till I see it" kinda thing.
Yeah.
Like, what if there's more out there that we cannot sense with our limited 5 senses?
Yeah. Well, from my experiences, and even right now, I keep getting a breeze across my face. So, which is just so strange. That started up right after I started meditating.
Mm.
Um, but even still, like having like your senses heightened, and you can also, by the way, ask your guides to enhance your senses. That's a fun practice. Try that one. Just literally go sit in a meditative state, like ask your guides, will you enhance my senses?
One of my favorite manifestation stories was, I was at home alone, and I was meditating, and I was just, like, playfully meditating. Like, I didn't really feel like focusing on
Yeah.
anything, and I wasn't, like, I was just kinda, like, wanting to zone out, like, just soften my mind a little bit, and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna play with my olfactory senses, with my sense of smell." And again, alone in the house, and I was like, "Okay, I'm bringing in the smell of lavender." And I was really struggling with that. And so I sat there for, like, I don't know, at least 30 seconds to a minute trying to, like, smell the lavender, even though, like, there's no lavender in the house. And again, just really struggling. And so I was like, okay, well, roses are really easy for me. They're my favorite flower. Rose is my middle name. Like, I love roses. And so very easily, I was like sitting there and I was like, okay, I can smell the roses. Not like they're right here in the room with me, but I've got a waft of them. And I shit you not, like 5 minutes after that, I get a doorbell ring, and there are lavender colored roses delivered to me from my mother-in-law
I
for
was on
no
the phone with you
reason.
when this happened.
I called you right away.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I was on the phone with you because I
Yeah.
was like, there is no reason anybody should be at my door right now. I
Yeah.
don't understand. Like, this is my alone time.
Yeah.
Like, like,
And
irritated."
you were talking about having that smell.
Yes.
And I was
And
yeah,
I
that's
opened the
crazy.
door and there's lavender colored roses. And I was like, well, that's why I couldn't bring in the lavender smell, is because it was a color.
I love it. And it's so fast. Like, just so I'm completely clear about this. I find everything that us as human beings and what we're capable of, I find it fascinating.
Mhm.
And it is my drive to continue to discover what we're capable of, which is how I've been able to come about even opening the abilities that we all have
Mhm.
um, in the first place. It's just my determination to really understand.
And I think, one thing to, consider when you're trying to practice these or
Yeah.
develop these is if you're doing it in like a methodical, studious, like,
Oh,
I'm going to
yes.
get this right, you're not.
You're gonna find the resistance
There's
within.
going to be a lot more challenges.
Yeah.
But when you like pull into that playfulness of it and you're like, "Ah, I'm just going to play with this. Let's just see what happens." Like,
Yep.
I'm not going in it with doubt necessarily, maybe some skepticism,
Mhm.
but playful. Like,
Yeah.
I want to see if I can, see a yellow butterfly today.
It's that's what it always, because you're lighthearted about it in the first place. You raised your vibration to kind of meet your guides halfway to like, and it's interesting because that's not always the case, by the way. Like your guides are working for you 24/7. They're not on a clock. They don't clock in at a certain time and then clock out at another like we do when we go to a job. They're just always present doing the things that you ask them
They
for.
don't live in the limitations that we do.
Mhm. Right. Or even the time construct that we have,
Again, the
right.
limitations.
Right. It's true. Point taken. Um, but they have, really cool abilities to he is determined today. He's like, "It's my feeding time. You guys are gonna feed me." Um, he's like, "Y'all keep talking about play. I wanna come over and hang out."
I want to hear the P word. Come here, buddy. Come say hi. You just limp dog.
He does this only with Carrie, where he's like, "Okay, I'll do cuddles with you." He's not a big lap dog for me though. It's very
Say
interesting.
hi.
Small backstory. When I got Webster, I'd only had him for maybe 6 months, 6 to 8 months. And then her and I became roommates. And so Webster is very fond of Carrie.
Auntie Carrie.
Yes. Oh my goodness. My jealousy is a little insane right now because this dog will not cuddle with me. See? He's got like a 5-second time limit.
So does my dog.
And then he's back for more. Look at that. Look at that.
You're gonna have to wait for dinner. Alrighty. Well, we're just gonna jump right into the
Oh yeah, wait. I almost forgot what I was
yep.
doing for a second. All right. So guess what time it is, y'all?
It's Webster's dinner time and the collective card reading.
Collective card reading. This dog is not going to stop. I apologize for our audience.
Alrighty, sir. We'll hurry. We'll hurry. You can see him.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Webster, come here. Come here. Sit.
Alrighty. So today we are going to be using the Moonology Oracle cards by Yasmin Boland, artwork by Nix Rowan. This is a really cool deck. It's a new one
Yeah.
that we've been learning about. So I got 4 cards today, but we're going to do them just a little bit different. So this is past, present, and future.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So she's got 4 for those on the audio only. She pointed to the top left card as past.
Top right is present, and the bottom 2 are future.
Very cool.
Alrighty. So
Top left it is.
first one is it's time to release negativity.
You got to be kidding me.
Nope.
It does not say that.
I'm not kidding. It says that.
What?
Full moon in Scorpio. I
What?
will raise this up a little bit so you guys.
Oh my goodness.
So I took a peek at these earlier, and that's part of the reason why I was laughing earlier when you were like, it's time to release old stuff and let it go.
We can't make this up. Like, seriously.
So, negativity from the past. This is the past. These are the things that we need to work on. These are the things that we're letting go or need to maybe review. And what's the words that I read about? Oh, it's time to emote. So emote.
Good
So,
word.
presenting and releasing and expressing emotions, let it out. Stop shoving it down into the bottom corners and the depths of your soul and just let it out.
Oh, that's lovely. I like that. Oh, y'all should check out Carrie's TikTok where she actually does a releasing of energy video. It's pretty cool.
At Karista Rose on TikTok. Even in the book, it says grudges are toxic. Let something
Mm.
go. The end of an argument for some of you.
Ooh.
So that makes me think of maybe an argument from the past that you've held on to, and you need to do some forgiving, whether that's for yourself or for other people. Forgiveness is not saying that you're okay with what happened, but
Right.
it allows room for healing.
Yes. That is a big say that one more time because I want to make sure that all the people in the back heard you.
Forgiveness is not about saying that whatever happened was okay, but that you are letting go and releasing it so that you can clear space within yourself for more love and something greater.
Yes, make room for the new. That's so big.
All right. Second one. So, present.
Present.
Don't let pride get into your way. The full moon
Oh,
in Leo. Okay, so this is about forgiveness too, and letting go of things that we've been holding on to is sometimes that's a prideful thing.
yeah.
We may be admitting that we were wrong or we're in the wrong.
Yeah, making decisions. I just heard making decisions. Like using your pride and ego to make decisions versus what your heart really wants.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm So that takes some observation too, and
Yep.
maybe even sitting with that and using your discernment to figure out what your intentions were.
Yeah, that's a big one. That one usually takes a lot of work sometimes. Like if you're not fully self-aware, that one takes some work. But the
And
lion, oof.
ego ego is important. It is our survivor, it's our protector, but it can also become out of balance.
Yeah.
And
And a little judgmental.
yes, that's a nice way to put it.
It can become judgmental, and I heard self-sabotaging. That's what Brady's
Here we go.
comment.
Self-esteem is good, vanity is not.
Oh,
Everyone is equally important. Creative urges should be followed. Work some magic. Okay, should I flip these two over together?
I think so.
Okay, so the last two we're going to flip over is for the future. So, like next steps, guidance, what do we need to do? So, the first one is your dreams need a practical plan. This is full moon and Taurus. Lots of full moon energy, lots of completion.
That's so interesting.
And then be bold and make the first move, the cardinal moon.
Oh my goodness. These cards are speaking to me today.
I just
These
realized
are
we didn't explain how they look.
so audience. Top left card, which was
For
the
the
past.
past, the full moon in Scorpio.
It is a picture of a moon in space, but it's
A,
purple.
a full moon, purple, with the outline of the scorpion for Scorpio on the moon. Then the present, the full moon in Leo, don't let pride get in your way. It's more of an orangey yellow moon with the outline of a lion and big mane and everything. So then these last two, the full moon in Taurus, your dreams need a practical plan. The moon is like this pink and green, and it kind of reminds me of like watermelon colors.
Oh, it does.
Um, and it's got the bull because
Mm,
Taurus is the bull on the moon. Now, Taurus is all about the ground, the earth, grounding, foundation. And what do you need to make plans really take off is a strong, firm foundation.
yeah, it's very
And
true.
how are you going to develop that foundation if you have negativity and pride in the way?
Ooh, look at that.
So be bold and make the first move by releasing negativity.
That's brilliant. I love
Sorry, this
cards.
last one, the cardinal moon. It's like a faded forestscape. So there's a few pine trees that are shadowed, and then the sky is like purple and pinks with either a waxing or a waning moon, kind of like quarter moon. And so you only see the crescent.
It's kind of like the light causing the crescent is in the upper right-hand corner, but you only see the pinkish part of that light.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. And then the stars underneath it. Yeah, that's gorgeous. I like that card.
So
It Go ahead.
full moon in Taurus via the guidebook. Laziness could explain your current situation. Oh, shit.
This card is for me.
If so, change that and own it. I feel like you just owned it.
I owned it.
Ooh, chasing money doesn't work. You need to chase a dream. That's what we're doing here.
There you go.
Don't forget to like and subscribe because we're
Oh
chasing a
my
dream right now.
gosh. Definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe, notification bell, do all the things that
If
help
you're
us.
listening to the podcast, hop over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button for us. Jealousy or envy create negative energy and attract negativity.
You know, that's the second time I've heard that today. Literally, that's the second time I've heard somebody deliver that type of a message today.
That means you're going to still get negativity with Webster because you're envious of my relationship with him.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Traitor.
It's funny because a friend, when we were out of town, we had traveled to the Dominican Republic. One of our friends had said that she hates all-inclusive resorts. Like
What?
always, it has negative experiences at all-inclusive resorts. And she was like, and lo and behold, such and such happened today when she was checking in. And I looked at her, I said, because you're bringing that shit with you.
Yeah.
You were manifesting that over and over. So the rest of the trip, she kept looking at me. I know I'm manifesting it.
And we say this all the time. If you keep repeating something to yourself over and over and over again, even saying it out loud, I've done it. I've done it plenty of times, and it took a while for me to have that aha moment where I was like, oh shit, that's right. I keep saying that to myself like over and over again, or I say it out loud.
Mhm.
Even when I think I'm joking, my brain's recording it,
Yeah.
you know?
Our cells, our water molecules, our body doesn't know the difference.
Right. So I think it's amplified with the emotions attached to
Oh,
something.
absolutely.
But you know, it's giving you back what you're asking for.
And if you keep repeating that, then universe is going to take it as that's what you want more of.
You're like, ooh, I got you.
Yeah. Oh, you keep repeating you're having a bad time? You must want more.
You want more of this?
All right. So be bold and make the first move. The cardinal moon card. Be bold and follow your heart and your emotions. I feel like you just said this.
That's crazy.
Avoid recklessness or moving too fast. Come into your power. The time for action is now.
That's been repeated by like every channeler I've ever listened to or heard of. Every person that is diving within, it's really a great time. It's always a good time, just so we're clear, but there seems to be a lot of amplification, a lot of collective consciousness and community around you know, including yourself into opening up, you know, and starting to receive the talents and the abilities that we all have. I'd be very curious to know if any of our listeners is interested in like, I don't know why I feel like I'm going to say this out loud,
Do it.
but but I would be very interested in knowing if any of our listeners would like to learn how to open your own abilities. Again, we believe here that every last one of us is completely capable of this. I was completely shocked when I first learned. So if you are, please leave a comment down below here on YouTube. Or if you'd like to reach out to us, please make sure that you head on over to our website. I'm going to pop that up on the screen, lovealwaysself.com.
You know, and I'm going to say this out loud too. Shyra keeps talking about doing readings. So if anybody would like if they think that Shyra should be doing readings, I would love to hear that too.
Amby's
Oh.
going to be very proud of her for just doing that right now. We also have socials. So Facebook, Instagram at Love Always Self. Follow us on over there. And you'll actually, on that channel, you'll see where we are creating this podcast studio. So feel free to, again,
Check it out.
yeah, check it out. I was forgetting what I was saying for a minute. I'm not going to lie. What's our ending again? This was an impromptu episode.
I got you, boo.
I know.
We just really we're incredibly grateful for you
Yeah.
guys and for the continued support and the growth that we've been seeing. It just really continues to, feed that fire that feeds our heart and
Yeah.
desire to come on here and be vulnerable and silly and share some good messages and funny messages and,
Yeah.
life. So, please, like we said 100 times already today, like, subscribe, follow for more. And please don't forget to share with your friends as well. And on that note, don't forget to love first.
Love last. So far away now. Bye, everybody.
Hey, listener, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us in this moment. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and we look forward to our next connection.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow to stay notified of new content from Love Always Self. If you have any questions or topics you'd like for us to discuss, please hit us up on any of our social media platforms linked in the show notes below.
I'm Karista.
And I'm Shyra.
And until next time, remember to love first
Love last.
and love always. Love Always Self podcast is meant for entertainment purposes only. We do not make any warranties about the completeness, reliability, and accuracy of the information presented in this podcast. Any action you choose to take upon the information in this podcast is strictly done so at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses and damages in connection with the use of our podcast. Any and all medical concerns should be addressed with a licensed healthcare provider, as well as any questions that may be derived from the information discussed in this podcast.